Hi, guys, and welcome to the Horror Room. So, this week I thought we would take a look at some guilty pleasure movies. Now, what do I define a guilty pleasure movie as? I think I would define it as a movie that's, not quite as recognized or as popular as some of these other cult classics. They're movies that, when you bring up like B-rate movies or things along those lines that people just kind of don't like to talk about, or they're movies that aren't as popular as like other ones in a franchise or main franchises like your Freddy's, your Jasons. So I thought we would take a look at the underdogs of the horror movies, as it were. um, and these are movies that I highly recommend you guys watch if you've never watched them. um, and I'll explain to you a little bit about each movie and why it's a guilty pleasure for me. But I don't want to give away everything about the movie. I mean, the point of this is to recommend some of this to you guys. And I would love to hear what's some movies you guys consider a guilty pleasure. I know some people like House of the Dead. Ooh, I have it just so one person out there doesn't have it, and I'm saving them from watching it. You're welcome. Um, but without further ado, let's get into my guilty pleasure list. We're doing 10 films today, not 5, 10. All right. So, first off, and we're doing in alphabetical order because why not? First off, we have Burial Ground, Nights of Terror. Um, this is, in terms of a zombie movie, one of the cheesiest, goofiest, most bizarre zombie movies you can get. The makeup, I would say, falls somewhere in between decent and goofy. And that's one of the things I love about it. Plus, you have, oh, I cannot remember the actor. Peter Peter Bark, maybe that's him. There's an actor that's like, I don't know, in his 30s or 40s, and he plays a child. And he is of a shorter stature. Uh, and it's just some of the weirdest, most incestuous stuff. I mean, it's bizarre, but it's so much fun, and I love the ending. It's To me, you can't do a great zombie movie without having a bleak ending. I know it's a little dark, but I think of the Dawn of the Dead remake. That's a good example. It's a fun movie, and it has a everybody dies ending. So spoilers, I guess. Um, but it's still fun because you can just enjoy it for what it is. Um, so Burial Ground, Nights of Terror. Next, this is a very interesting movie. It's a very fun one, and it's just fun to say. Frankenhooker. Now, I was torn between this and Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers and Terror Train. Apparently, no. I really hate living next to a train track. Um, but Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers is great, but Frankenhooker is like Dead Alive meets Weird Science, possibly. Um, it's got lots of gross out scenes. It's got lots of what the hell moments, exploding prostitutes, body horror, 80s freaking amazing 80s all around, the hair, the music. What can I say? Frankenhooker, just throw this on at your next family gathering and have a good time. Uh, that's not going to work out very well. Don't do that. But yeah, Frankenhooker, this is a guilty pleasure. Love it. I don't love trains, though. Talking to you, Thomas. The tank. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, Jack Frost. Yes, this movie, love it or hate it, this is one that a lot of people saw on the shelves uh, during the rental days, Blockbuster. I personally love this movie, and I love it so much that I bought it I have them both on DVD, but I also have the lenticular VHSs for the first and second movie. Um, this is one of those franchises that doesn't try to hide how silly and absurd it is, but it has so much fun with the idea. Now, they could have done some better ideas with the Killer Snowman. They didn't push it quite as far, and I still would love to see them do a third one, even after all these years. Um, but this first one has a special place in my heart. It's ridiculous, but it's so much fun. The second one is little bit of a downgrade in my opinion, but this one is just it's fantastic. It's a great movie to watch whether it's wintertime or summertime. Like it doesn't matter, just all out fun. Um, Now this next one is a shot on Shidio classic. And there's a ton of those. There's Wood Chipper Massacre. There's Video Violence, and I was very tempted by those, but man, oh man, gotta love Nail Gun Massacre. This movie is so bad in all the right ways. You have the killer making these horrible, horrible jokes throughout the movie, and like the kills themselves are just so bombastically bad. It kind of becomes funny, like the fact that you're expecting these little nails to just like piercing someone's hand and they're dead. um, and it kind of has a serious start where a woman is assaulted, but they throw that out the window and just devolves into this person wearing like a paintball gear get up with a high powered airsoft nail gun. It's insane, but I love it. Next, we have another zombie film, if you want to call it that. But I think this kind of falls into the like 28 Days Later, the Crazies, where they're not really zombies, they're just like rabid humans. Although some of them, they do resemble zombies a lot. And that is Nightmare City. And they use weapons. They're super aggressive, and you're supposed to be being scared, but I found myself just laughing at some of the situations, uh, like actually kind of cheering for the zombies, as it were, even though some of them do some pretty heinous shit. I'm not rooting for them, but the end scene in the amusement park, like, it's ridiculous. And then you get the big slap in the face at the end with the big reveal, and then the little text that rolls over. If you've ever seen Cinema Snob, you know the joke. The nightmare becomes reality. And that's all I'm going to say. Probably spoiled too much right there, but it is called Nightmare City. It goes by other titles too. I think City of the Walking Dead is one of the alternate titles, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I would highly recommend that. It's more of an action movie. Oh gosh, but it has horror elements. Now next off, we have a franchise that didn't quite make the height of popularity like Freddy or Michael. Maybe not even as high as Chucky. He's probably down there with Leprechaun and Pinhead, which no disrespect to either one of them, but if we're being honest, Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings. Now, this looks like a made for TV movie, but for some reason, and I did see this on TV a lot as a younger kid, it just stuck out to me. I liked it. The weird blurry effects when they're doing the backstory for Pumpkinhead and how he became this creature. Um, and some of the music cues and stuff. It takes the original premise, which was perfect and fine on its own, and turns it into this schlocky, straight to video masterpiece that I absolutely love for that. Um, and I think it's a lot of fun. I think this has some seasonal vibes. if you want a movie that can transition August into October, well, technically September, but I start early. So yeah, August or September into October. I think this is a good one to choose, and I think it doesn't get a lot of love, and I love it. Now, next we have a movie that I didn't love, but I changed my mind, and after watching it again, I was like, you know what? How could I not love this movie? And that is Bruno Mattei's Rats: Night of Terror. This movie is ridiculous. You have this group of post-apocalyptic punks that are in like this it's like a warehouse or something. um I don't even know, but it's Bruno Mattei, it's killer rats, and it's the most ridiculous dialogue and scenes, and to top it off with an ending that is just so mind-blowingly hilarious that I'm not going to spoil it. But this movie should be praised more than it is, and I think Vinegar Syndrome, I think it's them. They did a 4K release of this and another Bruno Mattei film, which is Hell of the Living Dead. I want to get those so bad. But yeah, Rats: Night of Terror, good one. Next, we have a movie that is technically two movies Frankenstein together somehow, but it ends up being one of the most fantastic rides. It's got so many good practical effects. It's batshit insane. It's bizarre, but damn, is it a lot of fun. And that is Spookies. Um, I don't even know where to start. There's like a Grim Reaper. There's a Spider Lady. There's like farting mudmen. There's a werewolf that kills a kid. There's zombies. It has everything, but it has nothing at the same time. It's just people go to house, people get killed by monsters, the end. But it is so fun. Like, you'd think a movie with barely any plot would be boring, but it ends up being so fun. It's like watching a haunted house unfold, except, the haunted house is killing people, which they've made movies like that. So it's not too far off. Um, we got two movies left. First off, we have Street Trash. I'm not talking about that horrible remake. I'm talking about the original. Now, this movie oozes, and I mean that pun intended, oozes the trauma spirit, even though it is not a trauma film. Um, and if you've ever seen this movie, you can definitely see why. Uh, it's got the body horror, it's got the gross out factor, it's got the comedy unexpectedly sometimes, and it's got the crude offensiveness with like the chick being assaulted in the car and all the homeless people are watching. You got the uh, it's actually the same guy who plays the mayor in Toxic Avenger. He's playing like the garbage dump guy, the guy who runs the garbage dump, I think. Uh, he has some crude moments, and then there's a side plot where a guy gets like oh yeah, he's the one who got the girl assaulted. Not like he didn't do it, but he got her in that situation, and something to do with the mafia, and that whole subplot is just barely there, but it's so fucking funny. Like, this movie's insane. I love it. It's very criminally underrated, and people say it hasn't aged well, and to them I say, what? This movie's fantastic. Just get over it. It's a movie. It's a guilty pleasure movie. Hence the reason it's in this list. But I don't feel guilty for loving it, neither should you. Last but definitely not least, we have the most infamous Bad Good movie. I don't have the single release of it. I would love to. I love the art on it. If you've seen it, you know. But I have the dual. Troll 2. Troll 2 is one of those movies that just... I don't even know. It's I wouldn't even call it a horror movie. It's more of a comedy, an unintentional comedy at that. Um, Everyone knows the infamous line. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Uh, the main bad lady in this movie, Doctor, what's her face? I don't even remember her name. She is so damn entertaining. Between her and the dad of the family, like I can't choose my favorite. Uh, you got the whole town of Nilbog. You got the grandpa talking to his grandson. You get the grandson peeing on family dinner. I love this movie. It's so fun. And it's more of a comedy, yes, but it's a guilty pleasure. It's technically a horror movie. Because, I mean, they do horror stuff. It does have some gross moments, even though they're like, I didn't know that popcorn was going to be gross, but okay. Um, but yeah, it's Troll 2. What else is there to say about Troll 2? And if you haven't seen Troll 2 by now, are you even a horror fan? You can skip Troll 1 though. You're not missing any plot. There's no connection. Um, so there you have it. 10 movies that I think are guilty pleasures by my definition personally. But I would highly recommend that each of you try these movies out. Um, because I mean, what's the point of watching, Freddy or Jason or Scream or any of that over and over when there's these gems just waiting for you? And, you can look at the cover of like Nail Gun Massacre and say, oh, this movie's gonna suck. But if you have a good time, isn't that all that matters? So, there you guys have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.